How you doing, everybody, and welcome to the New Year's Eve edition of Wilde's Mailbox here at ESPNMilwaukee.com and ESPNMadison.com. We've got two questions today that were submitted via email, and since it is New Year's Eve, I'll start with the New Year's Eve-related one from Jeremy, who resides behind enemy lines in Minnesota. And Jeremy wants to know, hi, Jason. With New Year's Eve and New Year's Day fast approaching, do you know what sort of freedom the players and or coaches have to, quote, ring in the new year? Do you know if they get any extra time off to celebrate 2010? I'm curious if Coach McCarthy has discussed this at all. Coach McCarthy has not discussed this at all, and while they gave the team Friday off for Christmas Day, it doesn't work the same way for New Year's Day. And to be honest, what they did on Christmas Day was the first time in my career since 1996 that the Packers have actually had Christmas Day completely off if it fell on a practice day. New Year's Eve, I would think the message on New Year's Eve would more be one about don't be a knucklehead, don't do anything stupid, don't get in trouble. They still have practice at 10:15 on Friday morning on New Year's Day, so I'm pretty sure that they aren't being given a whole lot of freedom to ring in 2010. The other question for today comes from Ben. Ben wants to know, Jason, I heard Mike McCarthy's comments about how they want to go 11-5. I know that winning the game is important to keep the team on a roll and entering the playoffs after winning 2 straight. But do you think there's extra emphasis on winning because they want to avoid playing the Vikings in the first round of the playoffs because of the media frenzy? And McCarthy probably wouldn't want to put that on Rodgers for his first ever playoff game. It's just a thought. I'm curious to hear your point of view. Well, Ben, I don't think that necessarily the Packers are as afraid of the Vikings as maybe, say, I am. I look at the Vikings as a team that is in disarray, that is totally dysfunctional with their head coach and their quarterback not on the same page. And I feel like the Packers are the one team that if they faced them in the playoffs, the Vikings might actually get their acts together. But I don't think the Packers view it that way. I think they feel like they're a different team than they were when they met the Vikings the first time and the second time, and that things would go differently if they played again. But I do think it's a good point about Rodgers and his first playoff game. He's so cool and calm as a laid-back California kid that I don't know if he worries about that kind of stuff. But still, I think he'd rather have it not be, Farva-Palooza 3 for his first playoff game. That said, remember, if the Vikings beat the Giants in the early game on Sunday, it'll already be decided that the Packers will be playing the Cardinals once they kick it off. So for the Packers, at least, that'll be a done deal. The Cardinals can still move up with a win to the number 3 spot in the playoff pecking order, which to me has value in the event that the 1 or the 2 seed loses in the divisional playoff round. It means that the Cardinals would have a shot at hosting the NFC Championship game if both those top 2 seeds lost. So those are our questions for today. Remember, you can always submit your questions via email at jwilde@espnmilwaukee.com or jwilde@espnmadison.com. And you can always hit me on Twitter as well if you'd like to save your question and only put it in 140 characters. We'll see you in 2010 tomorrow.